E-Trade Halftime Report is underway. Seth Greenberg, LaFonso Ellis alongside. Let's start with Purdue, the nation's number 3 team, who, Fonz, had really no problem with Nichols at Mackey.
No, this is the most efficient offense in the country that shoots 40% from the three-point line. Zach Edey was absolutely magnificent on the interior. When you play Purdue, you got to take away their inside game or allow them to be able to knock down three-point shots. This Nichols team did neither. 14 made threes in this game. Zach Edey went for 21.
And those two big guys combined for 30, 16, and 12 assists. And Michigan State, no Marcus Bigham due to COVID. No Max Christie, 3-time Rookie of the Week in the Big Ten. No problem. Gabe Brown was 6 for 9 for the three-point line, which is huge. And then Joey Hauser gets 17 and 11 rebounds. More importantly, Michigan State only turned it over 8 times today. They take care of the basketball. They're 10th in the country. They might end up being even better than that.
We'll wait to see. 81-68, Hauser, the transfer. Christie, the 5-star freshman. Big East, the Hall. Providence will start it out early on. Fonz, Nate Watson, easy to.
And Nate Watson is just a monster on the interior. 9 in this game in the first half. But for them to be as good as they need to be with Providence, he's got to get some guys to knock down shots from the perimeter. Noah Holtler with 4 made threes here in the first half.
And the Friars lead by 9 as they hit the half. Welcome inside the E-Trade Halftime Report. Colloquially speaking, Fonz in the box. Seth Greenberg's even in the
box, but he's still with us.
He's still with us in spirit. All right, so go out of the box here. Fonz, what are you seeing from the first half?
Yeah, I thought an Auburn team did a great job defensively of switching, especially 1 through 4, and that really forced LSU to settle into some three-point shots. They were 2 of 14 in the first half, but then all of a sudden Auburn started to take some quick contested shots, which allowed LSU to get out in transition. And then the half court, Xavier Pinson's got to put that basketball on the floor, get to the front of the rim. They were able to do that, get fouled as well. That's the formula if they want to win this game here in the second half.
I was blown away by Auburn's defense, their ability to defend the ball one-on-one. They don't have to double the post because, Walker Kessler, he's a human backboard. Right? You can't score over him. You can play the post one-on-one. That means you can stay home on the perimeter. Really good job right there. Walker Kessler walls up. He's averaging 5.3 block shots in the last 3 games, had 3 in the first half. He can defend the ball one-on-one so everyone else on the perimeter can stay home and then the close out on balance. And when they create turnovers, they can get out in transition. They're active, they're alert, they're in gaps. They are relentless defensively. Walker Kessler, once again, one-on-one, 7'5" wingspan, contests a shot, enables them to get out in transition. How connected this Auburn defense was. What did it do? It forced LSU to be a jump shooting team. That's not who they are. They were 3 for 16 from the three-point line, and they were contested threes. LSU continues to shoot that 3. Auburn's going to have a win.
Kessler, the transfer from North Carolina, on the way. We buying or selling Kentucky right now, along with the other powers in the SEC, and we'll look ahead to a powerhouse matchup that follows the game you're watching between Tennessee and Alabama. All that and more when the E-Trade Halftime Report continues. We're back. Cats back in action against Mizzou. And Fonz, Kentucky raced out to a quick start. Mizzou fought back. Kentucky back in control.
No doubt about it. With Severe Wheeler, his ability to transfer from Georgia, his ability to be able to get out in transition, put so much pressure on your transition defense, and Oscar Tshiebwe, one of the best rebounders in the country.
Indeed. I want to mention on Friday when High Point plays Kentucky, they're going to put Tubby's name up in the rafters, only the 4th Kentucky coach to be there.
Wow.
Rupp, Joby Hall,
Nice.
Patino, and Tubby Smith from coach to coach.
So well-deserved.
Oh, incredible.
Tubby Smith not only was a great coach, but he was a developer of young people. And he turned young people into men. And, Tubby, the best there is, won everywhere he was, but more importantly, the lives he impacted were far greater than the games that he won. And, this Kentucky team, I'm buying. They beat in transition. They can defend. They can turn you over. And, oh, by the way, they can rebound the ball a little bit.
No question about it. By the way, for those young enough, Tubby took him to the 1998 championship. A lot of good memories flooding back when High Point gets to Lexington on Friday. On the way, we'll take a look at the second half of our double dip. We'll see if LSU can fight back down double digits against Auburn. Back with more of the E-Trade Halftime Report next. Fingers crossed it all happens with everything happening this week with bowl cancellations. The college football playoff semifinals on ESPN Friday. Alabama, Cincinnati, Michigan, and Georgia, Arlington, and Miami, respectively. What to watch for? T-Town Fonz, Tennessee, Alabama up after we're done on the Plains.
Super freshman Kennedy Chandler is going to have to be really good. He's their leading scorer at 14 points a game, but only 15 points total in their 2 losses. He's got to be really good tonight against Alabama.
The Tennessee's going to defend. They're an elite defensive team. In their losses, they're 11 for 68 from the three-point line. They got to be strong with the ball and see if John Fulkerson can score in the post.
Fulkerson coming off a great game in his own right, 24 years old. On the way, second half. It's a double-digit lead. LSU put themselves in a hole early. Can they climb out, or can this raucous crowd get it done at Auburn? This has been the E-Trade Halftime Report. Second half's on the way. Let's keep it in the SEC with Seth Greenberg and LaFonso Ellis. I'm Zubin Mehenti. Coach, if you don't know about Walker Kessler, you're about to find out.
Walker Kessler was an absolute beast. 16, 9, and 11 blocks. Auburn has the best front court in all of college basketball. Kessler dominates the paint, and Jabari Smith is a matchup nightmare. Has a little Kevin Durant in his game at 6'10", can beat you off the bounce, shoot the three, and make plays. Auburn, they attack you defensively, they dominate you on the glass, and they dominate you with their front court. But right now, Walker Kessler, look what he did and look what he's doing right now. 15, 8, 6.8 blocks per game, 71% from the field. But more importantly, his ability to protect the front of the rim enables those perimeter guys to get out and pressure the basketball and create turnovers.
He's the transfer from North Carolina. Elsewhere, earlier tonight, Fonz, Mizzou, Kentucky. Cats raced out to a big lead. Mizzou fought back. A little too much Kentucky in the end.
Yeah, Savee Wheeler is so good out in transition. Always has his eyes up looking to make a dish. He had 9 assists in this game. And when Kentucky can get production from Keon Brooks like they did tonight, he scored in double figures. They are difficult to deal with. And then, of course, Oscar Tshiebwe, another 20-point rebound game.
Ho-hum, just another 20-rebound performance, 13 to go along the way. Elsewhere in the SEC, Coach, Hogs and Bulldogs in Starkville.
Yeah, I think Mississippi State's the sleeper team in the SEC. You talk about Molnar, an elite point guard that can get in lane and make plays. You're talking about Smith, a rim protector. Garrison Brooks can step out and make shots. This team today, they dominated Arkansas. Arkansas, a team without an alpha dog, a guy that can take over a game like they had last year. But this Mississippi State team, size, athleticism, and terrific guard play.
Elsewhere, A&M wins in another tough loss for Georgia at home, losing to Gardner-Webb, who picks up their first road win of the season.
And I'm not sure about A&M because really, if you look at their schedule, they haven't beaten anyone. Georgia, that is really rough right now in Athens.
Indeed, 77-60. With that, we welcome you inside the E-Trade Halftime Report. Seth Greenberg, LaFonso Ellis in the box, Zubin Mehenti. All right, so fellas, what are you thinking here? Fonz, let's start with you. What are you seeing from this first half? Tennessee is way undermanned, but you wouldn't know it looking at the score.
Yeah, part of that is Zakai Ziegler has done a terrific job stepping in for Kennedy Chandler, managing the game. Not scoring a lot, only has 3 points in this game and 2 assists, but he's managed it really well, taking great care of the basketball. And then, of course, they're playing without John Fulkerson, who's coming off a 24-point effort against the top 10 Arizona team. But I thought Brandon Huntley-Hatfield really came off the bench, was positioned himself really well and caught the basketball and finished around the rim. He's got 8 in the first half. I like what they're doing, but they're going to need more of it in the second half.
I think Tennessee's been terrific defensively, keeping the ball on one side of the floor, doing a great job in defensive transition, getting the ball under control, and then matching up with those shooters. Once that ball's advanced pass, what they've done a good job is keeping the ball on one side. What does that do? It takes away the paint touch. Everything Alabama does offensively is predicated on multiple paint touches, moving your defense, getting a paint touch, kick it out, forcing a closeout, driving it again, forcing that second closeout. That's where they get those open threes. Tennessee, terrific job trying to keep the ball on one side of the floor.
Okay, in case you're just joining us, Chandler and Fulkerson, COVID-related. That's why they're out, but we're nodded at the break. On the way, wait till you see what Purdue did. Michigan State getting it done shorthanded, sort of the way Tennessee is playing tonight. And we'll run through the Big East, too, next on the E-Trade Halftime Reports. Welcome back. Fonz, Purdue continuing to roll. They broke the century mark today against Nichols.
Yeah, they're so good offensively. And when you play against Purdue, you got to take something away. You have to take away the three-point shooting. or their inside play. Nichols did neither. They made 14 threes in this game. Zach Edey and Travion Williams were absolutely dominant in this game, combined for 30 points in this game. You do that, you have no shot at beating Purdue.
They didn't. 104-90. Michigan State shorthanded coach.
Yeah, no Max Christie, no Mark Spiggum, but you know who was there? Gabe Brown, 6 for 13 from the three-point line. Saw a big basket, then Joey Hauser goes for 17-11. They need Joey Hauser if they're going to take that next step. Most importantly, Michigan State today, they took care of the basketball. Only 8 turnovers. They take care of the ball and continue to defend. Michigan State's team in April that will make a deep run.
They got it done 81-68 in East Lansing. To the Big East, Fonz, Seton Hall, Providence, back and forth game that eventually went the Friars' way.
Yeah, Providence struggles to knock down the three, able to knock one down there. Nate Watson is their alpha dog on the interior, but he's needed some people to knock down some shots from the perimeter all year long. Noah Horkler, their 6'8" power forward, was terrific in this game. 5 of 6 from the three-point line for 17 points. He was the difference in this one over Seton Hall.
Coach Harvard out, Nevada in, taking on Kansas.
In this Kansas team, O'Shea Abaji and Christian Brown are always good. But today, David McCormick came up huge. They need him to play well in the post. And Jalen Wilson, 10 rebounds, 7 points. Those two guys, if they take the next step, that's a Final Four good Kansas team.
Big win in Lawrence. We're all knotted at the half. Shorthanded Tennessee and Alabama. Should be a great second half. Back to wrap up the E-Trade halftime report right after this. Just a reminder, Friday, the college football playoff semifinals. If you're an Alabama basketball fan, you got more immediate concerns right now, but I know once we get to Friday, it's all about trying to go back-to-back. With Michigan looking for their first title since '97, Georgia hasn't won it all since 1980. The college football playoff semifinals, Friday, all day. Coverage on ESPN. Shackelford doing what he can for the Tide. Tennessee's hanging in. Great second half on the way with Carl and Jimmy. This has been the E-Trade halftime report.